Hi, my name's Emily Mossman, and for the museum visit project, I decided to go to the Cincinnati Art Museum, and I visited there on Wednesday, June 3rd of 2015. I chose the Cincinnati Art Museum because a lot of my family members have told me, have gone and told me that it's very interesting and that I would benefit going there from it. And also another plus to it is that it was free admission, but parking, which was only $4, which was nice. And there are a lot of variety of artists there from different time periods and a variety of styles of art that they created. And also the museum is close to home, which is nicer than having to go like 40 minutes away to visit an art museum. So that was really nice to save on gas and stuff like that. Before going into the museum, I was really nervous, but I'm not sure why. And I thought, oh my gosh, this building is huge. How am I ever gonna see all the artwork in here and be able to pick my favorite one? And I also noticed before going into the building that there were artistic characteristics on the outside of the building, such as I noticed a Pinocchio statue, which was pretty big. It was probably about two of me. So that was really cool to see, as well as on the front of the building there was three banner-like fabric that were hanging off of the front of the building, which had artwork on those as well. When I first walked into the museum, it was really big inside. There was about 6 staircases that were filled with marble, and there was a lobby in the middle, and then the gift shop to the left. And we started walking through the pieces of art, and one of the first few pieces of art that I saw really struck me and stood out to me, and that piece of art was created by Zamruza Ram, and the title of the piece was "The New Vortex Plunges into the Heart of the Present." It really struck out to me because of the vibrant and warm colors that were incorporated into it to make it such a beautiful piece. The artist created this in 2008, which was an oil on canvas, and it really surprised me because all of the variety of colors, they blended so well together, which I was not expecting that to do. And there was also shapes and a lot of elements of art created in this piece, such as the shapes, the textures, lines, and the space that were used in this piece as well. As I said before, this piece of art was oil on canvas, and the artist used texture by splattering black paint on both sides of the painting, which I thought was really cool because you could just tell by looking at it that if you ran your hand over it, there would be a very textured feeling, which I thought was pretty cool for an artist to do that. But the main purpose of this piece was to portray the Eastern and Western cultures, which I thought was really cool because the artist is originally from Iran, which is part of the Eastern culture, but he moved to the United States when he was 8 years old. So he is incorporating his past culture and then his present culture as well in the piece through icons. And the shapes that were more noticeable to me were the flowers and clouds and the stars that were painted on the piece, which were very intricate and were beautiful to me. I also pulled up a picture from Google of this piece of art, just so you would be able to see all of the colors and everything that were incorporated into the piece perfectly. Obviously there was no picture photography allowed in the museum because the light from the flashes can fade the colors of artwork over time. So that was okay since I just put it up from Google. You can see the light in the background as well as the black paint that was splattered and the swirls that were created to form the clouds. Since this piece was one of the first that I saw when walking into the museum, it was really hard for me to be able to pick this one and stick with it since there was so much more to see. So throughout my journey through the museum, my mind kept sticking to this piece, and by the end, it was the one that I had stuck with and that stood out to me the most, and it was my favorite out of everything that I'd seen. So that's another reason why I picked this one. It's very I hadn't seen any other piece like that in the museum that was so bright and had so many colors incorporated into it, which I thought was really cool. A lot of the other pieces were more darker pieces with darker colors like violets and blacks and grays. I'm more of a bright colored person, so I think that's another reason why I like this artwork as well. When I was leaving the museum, I realized that I liked the museum a lot more than I thought I would, and I learned a lot about artists and all of the different pieces of art that can be made out of so many things, like everyday things that we use, such as like wood, pencils, colored pencils, things like that, can be made like through sculptures, which I saw a lot of those, which is really cool. Pieces of jewelry like gems were made into like pots and pans through, I saw them, I believe, in the Eastern culture exhibit, which I thought was cool because you never know what you can make out of just a simple daily thing like jewelry. But I also learned to appreciate art more throughout this visit at the museum, which I thought was really cool. And I hope to go back one day and see all the new exhibits that they'll put in and learn more about art.